located close to the volcano Iwate-san, also called the Mount Fuji of the north, Hirosaki is an old castle town featuring the famous Hirosaki Castle, originating from 1611. However, today's castle is a smaller reconstruction from 1810, as the original building exploded in 1627 after lightning hit the gunpowder depot.
I end up in this tiny little hidden hostel, full of horses for some reason. I mean, horses here, horses there, horses every pissing where. If I told the elderly landlady that I was raised on a farm with horses, I guess the excitement would give her a heart attack. So, let's get out of here. Time to check out the town. Contrary to my prior belief, you won't find traditional housing outside of certain districts. It's certainly nice to look at, but it's only the rather rich, the so-called kanemochi, who can afford that style of living. The rest of the city follows a different visual idea, featuring mostly functional buildings, offering, well, let's call it a charm of its own. I'm somewhat lost in the bar district as it starts to rain. Lucky me, I suppose. At least we get some atmospheric pictures out of it. Now, I like the confrontation of the old and the new, yet my confrontation with the exhaust fumes from the road, plus the constant rain, render me sick. As custom, I have to get one of these surgical masks to keep the sickness to myself. My next 2-day goal is a lake in the moderately mountainous area to the east, called Lake Towada. Apparently around about 65 kilometers away. Having left the city behind, I now get to skate through charming little villages, which also feature an interesting mix of architecture. But to tell the truth, I'm keen to see more of the traditional stuff. Pushing forward, I'm starting to get an idea why Japan is also called the land of mountains and rivers. Indeed, it only takes me half a day until I find myself on the first little mountain peak, which is great for a view, but even better for some mild downhill action. On the foot of one mountain, I find this sign saying, Aoni Onsen. Aoni Onsen. Say what?
As Japan's located on 4 tectonic plates, it's a country distressed by earthquakes and volcanic activity. The positive outcome of this dilemma are the thousands of hot springs, the so-called onsen, scattered around the country. This mineral-rich water can sometimes reach boiling temperatures when splashing out of the mountain. Nowadays, these national treasures are mostly inside facilities, as part of a guest house or a hotel, ranging from chic to more or less shabby.
There's also an elaborate etiquette on how to use and share these pools. And as bathing butt naked is part of the culture, I now leave the rest up to your imagination. If it helps the image, picture me yodeling. Now, this sensation stops soon. I can't afford the adjacent hotel, forcing me to swap this heavenly warm safe haven for a cold, cold night in the tent, next to a moisty barrier lake. For that, my muscles give me hell in the morning. But what can you do? It appears nothing but moving forward into the woods on streets that get steeper and steeper with every push. Until it's not really funny anymore. So after some hours of walking, I find myself on a plateau overlooking my today's goal. There it is, Lake Towada. And now, I just gotta get down there. Oh boy. This 20-minute high-speed run was better than sex, even if you count the 2 heart attacks I had to live through. This here lake Towada-ko is the largest crater lake on Honshu, lying about 400 meters or 1800 feet above sea level, while also being astonishingly deep, 326 meters. Sheesh. I find a little campsite where I rent a spot for my tent. Another crazy cold night would follow, I assume. But my appearance of dirt, sweat and happiness strikes a note with the managers. So after a terrific evening of grilling and drinking, I'm offered an own bed in one of their cabins. Waking up the next day, I'm facing serious morning glory, which I'll show you next time.
今度はモルニンググローリーを見て十和田港から田沢港までスケートしてやろう。その後で盛岡市までスケートしてドイツの場所でたくさんビールを飲みましょう。